Okay, here with Steve King. Steve, a terribly frustrating afternoon. What's your overriding emotions after that?
I think it's as poor as we've played in the first half. I think they could have been 3 or 4-0 up inside 15 minutes. Shocking start to the game, 30 seconds in. Josh or Dan's got to deal with that ball down the line. It was a simple ball. And he had another couple of chances and we were all over the place. I was very, very disappointed with the way we played.
The goal has changed the game, hasn't it? Sorry to jump. The goal has changed the game because it's basically we've got to come at them and they've sat back, and that 5 has won everything for them, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. We didn't play to anywhere near what we can play today, and potential. We knew the match winner could be Naz, as in the way he played, as in he got the 2 fullbacks booked early on. They kept taking him out. I've got to say, on top of them deservedly winning the game, in my opinion, but we didn't ask enough questions of their keeper. He's made 1 save from Brendan at the end and 1 from Naz.
But does that come back to our start where they've been allowed to dictate the game because they're leading, we're having to break them down? Has that disrupted us today, do you think?
Yeah, it's disrupted us, but I'm just looking at the performance on Boxing Day to that performance, and it's chalk and cheese. It's like it's nowhere near the levels that we should be producing now at this time of the season. That they've come and done a job. They sat in, like you said, they got willing runners. They broke away, and they've had 1 shot in the second half to sit the underside of the bar, and we've camped in their half back without really hurting them. And I think they for their first half performance, that's why for me they deserve to win the game.
Is there an argument that perhaps Boxing Day took a lot out of us, or you're not buying into that?
No, I'm not buying into that. I just still think our fitness levels look good. We didn't look tired. Towards the end we did when they were breaking away. But like I said, they had 1 shot on the underside of the bar second half, and other than that, they done a decent job containing. You know, we got the best home record in the league. We had the best home record in the league, and they done a number on us and contained us today. So credit has to go to the opposition at times. They're clever, their antics all game long. Referee bought them and let them slow the tempo of the game and decide how the game was going to be managed and seen out.
They were in good form coming into it. You did touch on it on Boxing Day, but I always ask you this when we lose, can we learn something from this defeat?
I think you've always got to try and learn from defeats, and we're taking to what we've seen in the game, and we'll address that as a management team and obviously address it with the players. But for me, we were on ourselves today, and I just felt from minute 1 we were sloppy. And we're chasing the game then.
You made all 3 subs today. Was any through injuries, or were they all tactical?
No, just tactical.
They did have an impact because we looked a bit lively, especially when Kiernan come on. I felt we got more into the game.
Yeah, we didn't think Gavin has done the best. Didn't do the best in the first half, and we were going to change it at half time, and we thought we'd give him 10 minutes into the second half. He wasn't on his game today, so we give Brendan a good 30 minutes. I think the wide men get frustrated at times. Finished
2018 in 4th, turn of the year now. Overall pleased with where we are?
Yeah. Like I've always said, don't get too high when we're high and don't get too low when we're low. But we ain't been out of the top 7 most of the season. So our realistic aim for the start as a group management, can we make the playoffs this year? Halfway through we're on course to do that, so that's our aim.
We start the year again on next week with Dartford away. It's the return. What's your thoughts on that big game?
It'll be tougher than Boxing Day because they don't want to get beaten again, and I think that they realise that the way they played against us wasn't acceptable as well. I don't think, and I think that they realise it could have been a lot more than what it was. So I expect a much tougher game. It's at their home ground in front of their home supporters. So yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game.
Any changes in personnel in terms of injuries coming back?
I'm hoping we've got Rooney back and Patterson back, Craig Barrett back. So we've got options. We will have options.
Excellent. Well, happy New Year. Shame we didn't end it on a high, but we go again.
Cheers.
Cheers, Steve. Thanks, mate. Thank you.